Welcome, everyone. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to the fascinating world of silk culture. Our presentation is titled Silkculture, and we'll explore the history, biology, and significance of silkworms. We'll look at how this ancient practice has evolved over thousands of years and its impact on various countries. So, let's dive into the story of the silkworm, the key to the luxurious silk we cherish today. Contid. There are 5 main types of silkworms that we should be aware of. First, we have the mulberry silkworm, which is scientifically known as Bombyx mori. Then, there's the Muga silkworm, or Anthorea asamensis, which is famous for producing the golden Muga silk. Next is the Tussa silkworm, scientifically called Anthorea paphiae, which yields the Tussa silk, known for its durability and unique texture. We also have the oak silkworm, and lastly, the giant silkworm. Despite the availability of substitutes for natural silk, Bombyx mori, or the mulberry silkworm, still holds a very prominent position. It ranks highly from a commercial perspective because of its efficiency and the quality of silk it produces. This underscores the importance of Bombyx mori in the silk industry, especially when considering sustainable and traditional silk production methods. Let's talk about the life cycle of silkworms, starting with their reproductive process. The silkworm is dioecious, which means that males and females are separate individuals. Fertilization happens internally, following copulation between a male and a female. Once fertilized, the female lays eggs, typically around 300 to 500 eggs, often in clusters on the leaves of a mulberry tree, which is their main food source. She then covers these eggs with a gelatinous secretion, which helps protect them. The eggs are small, smooth, and spherical. Initially, they are yellowish-white, but as they develop, they become darker. After laying the eggs, the female doesn't eat anymore and usually dies within 4 to 5 days. This stage is crucial because it sets the foundation for the next stages of the silkworm's life cycle, connecting reproductive behavior to the development of the silkworm itself. Let's take a closer look at Figure 2.1, which illustrates the life cycle of the silkworm. This cycle is fundamental to understanding how silk production works. It all begins with the egg stage, where tiny eggs hatch into larvae or silkworms. These larvae are the stage where most of the silk is produced, as they feed voraciously on mulberry leaves. As the silkworms grow, they go through several molts, shedding their skin to accommodate their increasing size. Once they reach full maturity, they spin cocoons, which are crucial for the next stage. The spinning process involves the silkworm secreting a continuous filament of silk, which hardens into the cocoon. After the cocoon is completed, the next phase is pupation, where the silkworm transforms inside the cocoon into a pupa, then eventually emerges as a moth. Interestingly, in commercial silk production, sometimes the pupae are killed inside the cocoon to harvest the silk threads before the moth emerges. This life cycle is not only fascinating, but also central to the silk industry, as understanding each stage helps optimize silk yield and quality. It beautifully connects to our overall theme of harnessing natural biological processes for sustainable material production. Now, moving on to the larval stage. Once the silkworm hatches from the egg, it's known as a caterpillar. It's a tiny creature, about 6 millimeters long, and it moves in a characteristic looping manner. That's how it gets around. If you look at its head, you'll notice it has mandibulate mouthparts, which means it's equipped for biting and chewing. The thorax, which is the middle part of its body, has 3 distinct segments, and on each segment there are 3 pairs of jointed true legs. These legs help the caterpillar move and cling to leaves as it feeds. Speaking of feeding, the caterpillar primarily eats mulberry leaves, which are essential for its growth. As it grows, it undergoes molting, shedding its skin, 4 times in total. This process is crucial because it allows the caterpillar to increase in size and develop properly. Within just about 25 days from hatching, it reaches full size, around 8 centimeters long. This rapid growth phase is vital in the overall life cycle of the silkworm, and it sets the stage for the next stage of development. Now, moving on to the pupal stage, the caterpillar stops feeding and finds a quiet corner among the leaves. At this point, it begins to secrete a sticky fluid from its salivary glands through a tiny pore called the spinneret, which is located on the hypopharynx. This sticky substance then transforms in midair into a fine, long, and solid silk thread. As the thread is produced, it wraps around the caterpillar's body, gradually forming a protective casing known as the cocoon. This entire process typically takes about 3 to 4 days, and by the end, the silkworm is enclosed within a thick, oval-shaped cocoon that can be white or yellow. This stage is crucial because it marks the transformation from caterpillar to moth, and the cocoon provides the perfect environment for this metamorphosis to occur. A single caterpillar is quite impressive when you think about it. It can produce nearly 1,000 to 1,500 meters of silk thread during its lifetime. And this silk isn't just a single strand. It's actually made up of 5 filaments that are stuck together using a gummy substance called sericin. This sericin is secreted by specialized glands in the caterpillar, which helps keep the silk together and strong. Now moving on to the adult stage, this is where some really fascinating metamorphic changes happen, especially during pupation. During this stage, you'll notice that the unjointed abdominal prolegs, which are like temporary legs, disappear. At the same time, the thorax develops 2 pairs of wings, transforming the caterpillar into an adult moth or butterfly. Eventually, the pupa undergoes a complete transformation, or metamorphosis, into what we call the imago, the adult insect. The imago then secretes an alkaline fluid to moisten one end of its cocoon, softening the silk. It then forces its way out of the cocoon to emerge as a fully formed moth or butterfly. And right after emerging, the adult moth's life cycle continues quickly. They mate, lay eggs, and then they die, completing this incredible cycle of transformation. This process highlights the remarkable nature of insect development and the intricate processes behind silk production and metamorphosis. Now let's talk about the rearing of silkworms, which is called sericulture. This process is quite delicate and requires a lot of skill and patience. Handling silkworm eggs carefully during transportation is essential because they are very fragile. The core activity in sericulture is producing high-quality cocoons in good quantities, which is vital for a successful industry. Several factors influence this process, such as the amount of mulberry leaves available, ideally around 12 to 15 kilograms. Choosing the right races of silkworms is also important, as different breeds can affect productivity. Maintaining a clean and safe rearing environment helps prevent flies and other pests from damaging the crop. Usually, a separate chalky rearing building is used to raise the young larvae in a controlled setting. A key step in this process is called brushing, which is the transfer of newly hatched larvae from the eggs onto wax paper or rearing beds. This step is crucial for ensuring the larvae are properly placed to begin their growth. All these factors come together to help us produce the best quality silk, connecting directly to our overall goal of sustainable and efficient sericulture. Once the eggs hatch, we spread chopped leaves over the net to give the young silkworms their first food. After about an hour, we carefully lift the entire net along with the worms and brush them into a chalky tray. This process is essential because it helps keep the worms clean and ensures they have a fresh environment to grow. The period from hatching up to the second molt, when the worms are still very young, is called chalky rearing. Typically, this stage lasts around 6 days. During this time, the worms are very sensitive and need optimal conditions to develop properly. Under ideal rearing conditions, the worms usually take about 3 to 4 days to settle after each of the first, second, third, and fourth molts. Interestingly, they tend to take a bit less time, around 2 to 3 days, after the second molt to settle down. This stage is crucial because proper management during chalky rearing sets the foundation for healthy, strong silkworms that will produce high-quality silk later on. It's all about creating the right environment and giving them the best start possible. Conted. Here, we see that the larvae are carefully collected and then mounted on bamboo or other suitable types of mounting materials. This step is crucial because it provides a stable environment for the larvae to spin their cocoons. Now, the ideal conditions for spinning are quite specific. Maintaining a temperature of around 24 degrees Celsius, with a humidity level between 60 and 65%, along with good aeration, really promotes healthy cocoon formation. These conditions help ensure the silk is of good quality and the larvae can spin effectively. After about 5 or 6 days of spinning, the cocoons are ready to be harvested. Timing is important here. Harvesting too early or too late can affect the quality of the silk. Once the cocoons are collected, there's a sorting process. Double and weak cocoons are discarded because they might produce inferior silk or could be less durable. On the other hand, the clean, healthy cocoons are then marketed for further processing. This entire process highlights how careful management of environmental conditions and proper handling are key to producing high-quality silk, which ties back into the overall theme of efficient and sustainable silk production. Let's talk about silk production and its uses. Silk is a continuous filament fiber made up of a protein called fibrin, which is secreted from 2 salivary glands located in the head of each larva. Along with fibrin, there's a gum called sericin that acts like a glue, holding the 2 filaments together. Now, to prepare the silk for use, the cocoons are placed in hot water. This step is crucial because it removes the sericin, freeing the silk filaments and making them ready for reeling or twisting. An important point to note is that this hot water bath also kills the silkworm larvae inside the cocoon, which is a key part of the process. Once the filaments are free, they are combined to form yarn. This yarn is then drawn under tension through a series of guides and wound onto reels, which helps align the fibers and strengthen the silk. Finally, the silk yarn is dried, and based on its quality, it is packed for distribution and use. This entire process transforms raw silk into a versatile material that has been treasured for thousands of years for its strength, luster, and smoothness. The raw silk thread that we get from the silkworms is actually quite versatile once it's woven into cloth. It's used to make a variety of garments like jackets, blouses, and shawls, as well as home decor items such as curtains. You'll also find it in everyday accessories like gloves, stockings, socks, and vests. But the uses of silk go far beyond just clothing. It's also crafted into many specialized products. For example, insulation coils for telephones and wireless receivers rely on silk because of its excellent insulating properties. Silk is also used to make sieves for flour mills, which require strong, durable material. In addition, fishing lines and parachute cords are manufactured from silk because of its strength and flexibility. And of course, parachutes themselves are often made from silk, highlighting its importance in safety equipment. Overall, silk's unique qualities make it incredibly useful across a wide range of applications, connecting back to the broader theme of how natural fibers can be transformed into essential, multifunctional products. Now, let's talk about the treatment and disposal of cocoons. The process begins with unwinding the cocoons to extract raw silk. But before we can do that, we need to address the pupae inside the cocoons. These pupae are killed intentionally to prevent them from emerging as moths, which could damage the silk threads. This is usually done by exposing the cocoons to sunlight or by heating them in a special drying chamber. These steps ensure the pupae are effectively killed without harming the silk. Next, the cocoons are sorted out for reeling. For muga cocoons, there's an additional step. They are cooked in an alkaline solution of soda ash for about an hour. This process softens the sericin, which is the natural gum that holds the silk filaments together. Softening this gum makes the reeling process smoother and more efficient. Overall, these treatment steps are crucial because they prepare the cocoons for silk extraction while maintaining the quality of the silk. This process is an important part of the entire silk production cycle, ensuring we get high-quality raw silk ready for further processing.